YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look at this V4 Huey from FlyWing. Absolutely gorgeous. This thing is a museum piece. It's even got some soft parts. Grab one, please. Flick it. Yes, flick it again. Amazing. You may notice these gray parts, those come in the package. They are soft, just like this little tail boom. And yes, the handles on the side, the handles on the top, they come off. Batteries loaded up in here, 4S 3000. This thing is totally loaded with features. It is what I call a heli drone, which means you don't need to know how to fly. The wind is coming from that direction. We're gonna start it right now. The startup procedure is a little bit unusual on these heli drones. They're all a little bit different. You release the hood here. We don't have our battery started. Camera crew is gonna hold the transmitter as I pop the top. You can use your finger to grab that, which is kind of nice if you choose to install it. I glued mine on. That's why I left them gray. And I also didn't have olive drab paint. So if you guys wanna see how we did it, watch our unbox build radio setup right at the end. You can see we've got this strapped in with the provided equipment. I'm gonna plug this in, I'm gonna lay it down, and I'm gonna put the hood back on. So we'll show you the whole process so that you know exactly what you're getting into. You have to be up in its business. Just be aware, transmitter's on. Okay, there is a light on top of this thing. It's flashing red. Camera crew is gonna do our best to show you. I'm gonna take the transmitter. It's doing a flash yellow. I'm gonna stay out of the prop area just in case something weird happens. It's looking for GPS. Right now we're normal. Right now we're in GPS. We're waiting for a flashing green. Once it's green, then we can arm it, but we're not gonna do that until we put our canopy on. The only reason we have the canopy off is so you can see what's going on. It does take a few seconds for this all happen. I'm in stop, normal, GPS, and normal. They are labeled nicely on the transmitter, FR Sky 10-channel transmitter. These buttons have no function in this application. These sliders have no function in this application. Once we see a solid green, then it will go to a green flash. Once we've armed it, you have to hold down and out for up to 5 seconds. I am gonna turn the rotor. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this canopy back on. By the way, just wanna show you this. This is a V4. So even the canopy, I believe, is stronger than what was previously in, because they have carbon fiber reinforcements around the fiberglass body. And look how nice this fitment is. Beautiful, beautiful. Release, snap it in, make sure it's on there, wiggly, beautiful. Now we're gonna put the tail pointed at us because we're inexperienced, bad heli pilots. And that's why I love these things, because you can be a bad heli pilot. All right, so we're gonna go from normal, leave it in normal, from stop to run.
No, you're gonna stay in stop and unlock it with sticks down and out.
With GPS, sticks down and out.
For like 5 seconds. 5. Now you should be able to flip to run.
Should spool up. Wait for it to come to speed. Now this is where you're trusting a machine. It's hard to tell if it's gonna be right. We're listening for speed. We're looking for bad behaviors. We're looking for loose components. Don't really like that. That vibration is less than desirable. So I'm gonna press down on the stick. Nothing changes, good. I'm gonna lean just a little bit, lean just a little bit. I don't see any behavior because I'm not gonna be flying it. GPS is sort of in charge right now. So I'm gonna stop it. The vibration is less than desirable, but now I can see if the swash is working. I don't see any movement there, so that's kind of weird. See this? Do you see it moving at all? I don't, okay? So I'm gonna just cycle to home. Then I'm gonna go back to GPS. I'm gonna lean, I don't see any movement from the swash. So I'm gonna arm it again, 2, 3. I don't see any change in status there.
If you go to 3D.
If I go to 3D, I'm in stop. I have to go to run. I don't see any movement, do you?
Nope.
I don't see the tail moving either, which is kind of a bad sign. But it's obviously getting signal. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna throw caution in the wind. We're gonna go back a few steps. We're in GPS, not home.
Okay.
Up means up, and it's flying. It's totally stationary, and it's responding. So as you guys can see, it's working, okay? So we'll just turn it. I'm having visions, memories.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's totally solid right now. I'm gonna go down. The thing is flying itself. I'm literally not looking at it. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them, but you can't see the swash move. It makes it really hard to test. So, guys, here you go. Eat your heart out. Beautiful Huey. And yes, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. It has all the scale detail you want. It's got all the moving parts that you don't necessarily want to fix, and yet it will fly itself. Going up, look at that profile, absolutely gorgeous. Right overhead, and by the way, it is windy, straight up windy right now. I'm gonna just go out here and do a quick sorties. Coordinating my turns, I'm gonna go just above the tree line. It sounds like a Huey, only much smaller. Love it, guys. Wow. Anybody can fly this thing, but I'm gonna tell you something, it takes a little bit of trust. Let's walk over to the edge and go to the bull. Takes a little bit of trust in this FlyWing setup, because the thing is, that's good right there. FlyWing had some problems with their earlier versions, and we watched it several times actually, not just once. And so we said, screw that crap. We're not gonna get all tied up with some product that might blow up and hurt somebody. So V4, they've obviously redesigned a lot, because look how good this is. And I let go, and look at the stopping power. Wow. Amazing, guys. Okay, going up just a little bit for better visibility. Love the yellow band, love the red. Now I'm gonna stop, full stop on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, stop. Woo! Didn't want it to run into my junk pile. We're in a farm after all. That is so sweet. Guys, if you are a sucker for Vietnam era helicopters, you gotta get this thing. Even if you don't know how to fly, a little bit of a higher speed pass there. That was about 50% on the sticks, just kind of going with the wind, up and over. Trying to get some different lines and different angles here. Look at that thing, just coming along. We're gonna go right overhead. Good, you good, you good? Oh God, I love it, folks. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and return to home. There's home. I'm gonna step back. We're gonna give it a wide berth. I just wanna test this thing. I'm not flying, guys. Don't blame me if it crashes, if it blows up in a million pieces. That would suck bad. And yet it's not going to, because guess what? It's going home. It's going home. There it is. Guys, I'm watching. I'm a spectator. I don't like being a spectator. It scares the crap out of me with these helis, but there you go. Controller's on the ground. I've walked away from it. This is where we do this. But truth is, guys, we've had a lot of FlyWings. Remember, this is what we call a heli drone. So it is basically a heli drone. It is definitely not sub 250, and it is definitely going to prove itself right now by landing in near perfect fashion. Don't like the vibration at neutral. Okay, let's watch it shut down. Yes, it did. Absolutely gorgeous, it survived. Okay, time for nature walks, because we know why you're here. But before we do that, I'm gonna show you the fact that we have a 3D button, okay? I'm gonna go to GPS. I'm gonna go arm. I'm gonna go up. Nope, we got an arm.
You're being stop.
Oh, I'm in stop?
Yep, then arm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then run. Watch the spool up. The spool up indicates that it's ready to rock and roll. Now, by the way, those blades are locked in position. They don't swoop like they should. And it's a 3D printed accessory that does that, which makes me a little bit nervous. Okay, up with you, because you seem to like flying better than sitting there looking ugly. But I gotta say, guys, look at this creep. Look at this creep. Guys, I feel totally confident. I'm going just over my eyeball level in case that thing blows up in a million pieces. I'd rather it blow up just slightly above my head. And I gotta say, coordinating your turns makes it look more realistic. But if you stay just in front of it, man, that is absolutely fantastic. The vibration adds to the sound, but it definitely does not add to the quality feel.
Comfort level? No,
yeah.
not so much.
Well, And I'm being super smooth on my controls because I'm really not trying to do anything crazy.
Right.
But all I got to say is this thing will do crazy. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up here and just show you the first crazy trick. Let's fly in a circle, guys. Do it. Little midget heli pilots. I'm not midget. What do we say? Little people? Sorry. Little people. Little people pilots. So as you can see, it's going in a circle when you're in the circle mode, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch straight to an 8 when he's pointing at us. Go to a figure 8, folks. Do it. You know you can. Let's see how you do your figure 8s. All I'm gonna say is figure 8 is kind of cool because it stays coordinated, and I love that. By the way, not dead calm. We got about a 45-degree angle, a little bit steeper on the windsock, which means we got a little bit of wind. He's just doing a holding pattern, looking for what's going on. Back to normal flight mode, bringing it down. As you can see, a little bit of herk and jerk as you pull down. That's not uncommon on these heli drone style helicopters. But all I can say is, man, that looks fantastic. And I gotta say, I am a sucker for a scale helicopter. Scale helicopter allows me to really forgive a lot of the imperfections in a model. And I can say this one has only a few. And one of them is the amount of vibration that we're experiencing. Look at that beautiful stop, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. Just giving it a little bit of yaw control there, just to see how it does. And let's do a landing in the bright sun with our shadows here. I'm just pulling the stick down about 10%. And then once you get on the ground, you can just hold that for a few seconds and it'll eventually stop if I'm remembering right. Or maybe it doesn't. So then you kick the stop button, okay? See that? Now I'm gonna let go of the stick. It is spring loaded, it goes to the middle. That's customary in a heli drone. Again, heli drone is my name, not theirs. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna look right there and it says TX and RX and we've got some telemetry feedback there. Hopefully you can see that on your screen. We can see it very good in live and in charge. Okay, so we're in stop, arm the thing. It's gonna start spinning up. As soon as we go to run, now we go to run, it's gonna start. You may not need to arm it each time, but we're just gonna do it out of pretense. We're gonna let that spin up. Do not give it an up command while it's halfway. It will try to take off, I believe. Okay, so waiting for the, okay, and up we go. Confidence instilling jerk. No, I'm not talking about me. All right, here we go. Down into the bowl, folks. Love it, guys. Absolutely fantastic looking helicopter. Let's blow off our septic lids. Camera crew, you ready?
Okay.
Stay where you are. Septic lids look dirty. Do it. Oh, come on now. That grass must be really wet. Come on, septic lids. We were getting quite a bit of wind from it, right?
Yeah, we were.
That stuff must be stuck on there really good.
Must be.
I mowed the other day and I never cleaned it off. So now, just to be clear, if you guys love scale helis, this thing is your lover because it is absolutely fantastic. If you can coordinate your turns, you can make it look absolutely fantastic. And even if you can't, if I just give it a little turn, that's what it looks like. That's a roll, that's a roll. When you let go, it's gonna stop. Pull back, let go, it's gonna stop. Push forward, let go, it's gonna stop. It's gonna overcorrect. And if you coordinate, you can make it look real smooth, slow on the in, slow on the out, and it's gonna give you all that scale appearance that you're expecting from the MASH episode you were thinking of. So as you can see here, even in the grass, you can go down there and get the Viet Cong. Look at that, that's so sweet. Look at all that grass blowing everywhere. So stinky cool. All right, we're at the LZ, everybody get out. All right, here we go. There it is, folks. So now, some of you are probably thinking, flip it upside down so it looks like a video game. Yeah, I know you would say that. And yes, there is an invert button. I'm just showing you what happens. Nothing, because I didn't program it to do it. Oh yeah, but in 3D, I can fly it like a regular heli, okay? Which means I should be able to flip it upside down. I'm gonna go way high, upside down, and then back to GPS. I actually flipped it to home. In their vast wisdom at FlyWing, they put that thing in a really hard spot to get to, so back to GPS flight. As you can see, it comes back to power. And I just wanted to demonstrate that because it will require a clean change of drawers. So if you don't know how to fly 3D, maybe don't do 3D. Because I'm gonna tell you this, a spring-loaded stick is not the way I'm used to flying a 3D helicopter, folks, okay? Now, let's just show you a regular landing. I gotta say, there's still stability, there's still stabilization, and it's still very controllable in 3D. I was very impressed, in fact. Hey, this is me holding down the stick, flip the stop button or the stop toggle switch, and it will go to a stop condition. Now, this thing should return to home when you reach a certain voltage range, okay? When it returns to home, it's gonna go to altitude, it's gonna fly in a straight line, it's gonna orientate itself, and then it's going to land. It's gonna do it just like we did when we flipped to home earlier, okay? So now, can you take off in 3D? I believe you probably can. Am I gonna test the theory? No, I'm not. Okay, all right, so ready to go. I'm gonna just show you, you can actually probably start it, but you have to arm it first.
And you're back in GPS then for this one?
Yep.
Okay.
So I've armed it, now I go to run, should start to spool up. Now, if it doesn't start, see there's home, there's GPS, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now let go, run. Does it start? If it doesn't start, you wanna know what's happening, guys?
What?
We're probably out of battery. So, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure I'm in stop. I am. I'm gonna put it in run. I don't see any activity. I'm gonna go back to stop. I'm gonna sticks down and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna let go, and then I'm gonna flip to run. Nothing happens. So I'm gonna put it back to stop. That means our battery's spent. Now, you can be in home position, and it's gonna prevent you taking off if it's too low. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap batteries, and then we're gonna do a nature walk with this beautiful Huey. Now that you've seen that it can do everything that you wanna do, and just so you know, I'm not a 3D pilot, and this thing, in my opinion, does not fly that great upside down, but the flight controller will fly it upside down for you. To be clear, you can invert the thing and fly just like a normal upright helicopter. It's weird, I don't like doing it. I've done it one time for a FlyWing product. I think it was a 450. We did the FW 450, I don't know, a couple years ago. You have to hook up a USB-A to USB-C into the flight controller. We'll talk about it a little bit in the Unbox Build radio setup. There's software that you can get for free from FlyWing to go and make changes. You can also set the low voltage setting that prevents you from taking back off, or that sets it automatically to return to home. So it's got all the features you expect from a heli drone, but don't expect it to be a hobby grade flight experience under normal circumstances, like something that has safe. It's a different flight experience. Heli drones are different. You don't need to know how to fly a helicopter to fly this thing, but you also are not in full control. And if that's gonna bother you, you need to know that now, okay? Because there's some of you that are gonna wanna do this like a 3D helicopter. I can tell you right now, you can and will do it, but you aren't probably gonna have a spring-loaded collective on your NX20 or your IX20 or your NX10 or whatever it is you're using, or if you're using some other type of transmitter, okay? All right, so now that we're done flying for the first time, we're gonna pop the canopy. We're in stop, obviously, we've already checked. We're gonna go ahead and pull this thing down, grab one of these things, pull it up, take it off, and you can see it's flashing red. Now that means we either lost GPS lock or our battery is low, and my guess is our battery is low. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and swap the transmitter pack, or excuse me, not the transmitter pack, but the flight pack, and we're gonna take back off and show you exactly how it does with a new pack, and we'll go inside it and test the voltage too. Okay, so this is the battery that we just came in with, and we were checking the manual quick. Yeah, 3.8.
3.8.
So it went to a fast red flash or a slow red flash. I don't know the difference between the two. One of them said receiver signal lost, and one said compass calibration required. So we don't know if maybe there's also another red flash, meaning your battery's low. This is 3.85. This one's the fully charged one. They're both brand new batteries. We got ours with 2. This is the other time I would say when you're getting your batteries, when you order these helis, they're expensive enough helis, but these are more of a stock finish. This is the exact same helicopter battery that we use for the Bell 206. Full disclosure. So if you have the Bell 206, which is that thing, made by FlyWing, awesome product, by the way, then you already have some extra spare batteries. But that thing gave us an incredibly long flight time. Like, it felt a lot longer than this. So we're gonna see how this goes. Now, one thing might be is maybe the Bell allows to go to a little bit lower voltage, but we'll find out right now. So stay tuned, we're gonna go set the new battery in. All right, guys, second battery's installed. We'll show how we load it in the unbox build radio setup, which is gonna follow. Okay, so we're in stop, sticks down and out. We already waited for the green light, took about 10 seconds. For whatever reason, we have moved the blades and got them out of the way, and it's always started, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and start it. We can trust it a little bit more this time. Little vibration is probably to be expected. Maybe we need to balance the blades a little bit, but either way, we're in GPS, we're in normal, and we're in run. Don't like that, press the up on the stick, let it jump to life. You can cancel the jump by giving it some other cyclic input, which would be on your right hand. Okay, so we're just gonna fly down, do a little nature walkage. Love flying close to stuff. Of course, that makes your helicopters sometimes fly a little bit different, but what's the point of a sweet looking helicopter that you can't see doing stuff? So we're gonna go ahead and bring this down, nature walk down all the way to the pond. We'll go up and over the tree line just to show you, you can go up just fine. It's gonna do fine. We're gonna find this little hole here in the trees and fly through. So cool. And as you can see, we'll bring it right back around. Camera crew, you wanna wait for it? So the downward axis is probably one of the weirder axes because you can only bring it down so fast. And so I feel like you can go up with plenty of amplitude. Okay, we'll go slow, just looking at this beautiful grass moving. Oh, that is so sweet. Can you get some lower shots there? Oh man, that looks so cool. We're just clearing out the bad guys, doing a little mowing here. Mow that stuff. Yeah, buddy. Gotta watch out for the obstructions, pilot. Don't be a bad pilot, okay? Man, I love looking at this thing. It is so much fun. Is it as good as the Bell 206? I don't know. I think it looks pretty dang good. The Bell 206, that being said, is amazing, guys. It is really good on the sticks. I love the way it flies. We're gonna bring you guys some more waterworks coming right now. Here we go, right over the water, guys. As you can see, that thing is kicking up all sorts of debris, dead bugs, all sorts of water splashing everywhere. Amazing, beautiful helicopter here from FlyWing. We've got frogs scared to death, thinking my end is near. Okay, so let's go ahead and go up here and land in the dust. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you, you don't have to land at home, but you can also reset your home position, I believe, okay? So I'm gonna bring it here. This should get a little dusty. All right, everybody, troops ready. Here we go, let's go. Oh yeah, stick down. All right, everybody in, we're good. Emergency exit. On my right, please. Oh, that is so beautiful. Fortunately, we're into the shade. We're gonna bring it down. Like I said, the down is much easier to control. Camera crew is gonna go out on the dock. Absolutely delicious over the water. Look at the reflection, it's so beautiful. I can't get enough of this heli. Camera crew, we're coming in right toward me. We're gonna bring it over the rock, see if we can get a landing here. Oh yeah, so cool. Oh my goodness, that is beautiful, guys. Going to your right there, camera crew. Going over by this giant industrial drain the size of a helicopter. One of the biggest drains in the reservoir of Brian Phillips RC, where all the water comes to drain. Okay, so when you let go of the sticks over water, guys, just remember ground effect over water is a little bit different. And we are looking at a possibility of low voltage warning at some point. This thing is a little different than the last heli we reviewed, because guess what? We can just turn around and let it fly home. It's gonna be amazing. Oh yes. So without further ado, just a little bit of altitude. Don't want to take out our grasses here. Of course, they're absolutely cool to look at. Man, this thing even sounds good, doesn't it, camera crew?
It does.
Okay, getting away from there. Let's go take the troops home. And no, you don't have to fly it like I fly it, but guys, what an absolute joy. That thing is beautiful. Oh, love the cutting sound. So cool. Overhead okay? You good?
Yep.
Right overhead. Oh, it's so sweet. Definitely have a little bit of vibration. Nothing that's stopping the thing from flying, but just chilling like a villain. I'm gonna come out on the dock with the camera crew and just point something out to you. If you lose your nerve, all you gotta do is stop flying and it will take over. That's one of the reasons why FlyWing is so nice. If you really don't know what you're doing, it's wonderful. If you do know what you're doing, you might find it to be a little bit lame because you want to be in command and control the whole time. And I do not blame anybody who wants to be in control of their own helicopter. That is, after all, why we like flying radio controlled, okay? We're just gonna sneak through over the weeds. Oh yes.
No one will hear you coming.
Nobody at all. Oh, that is so sweet. Look at all that dust.
It needs
Coming
a little,
in for the killing.
needs a little guy hanging out the side.
I know, with a big giant gun.
Yes.
And by the way, if you're gonna make us install stuff next time, FlyWing, it better be a giant minigun or some sort of Gatling gun of sorts. Because I gotta say, this helicopter deserves to have a gunner hanging out the side, or possibly a gurney on a winch, because that would be sweet. Okay, so camera crew, I think we need to go into the weeds. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean, into the weeds?
Onto the other side, the mouth of the creek. You good for that?
Oh, are we gonna fly all the way down there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a helicopter, for God's sake. Overhead.
Okay, well, if it returns to home, we're gonna have to run around the house really fast.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
And that's the only thing I gotta warn you about, guys. If it returns to home, it's gonna go up. So you need to be prepared to deal with it, okay? So folks, we're gonna go up here. We'll just go on the side of the hill. We like doing nature walks here on Brian Phillips RC. We actually open up this new hole so we can do some more nature views there. And one of the best things about FlyWing is you've got this like little puppy dog that looks like way cooler than most puppy dogs, even though I like dogs. And it's just chilling like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go, let's go. Okay, I'm ready, here we go. Yes. Let's go out to the beach and check for the victim. Is anybody in the beach? Nobody's at the beach. Okay, so our next move, camera crew, is gonna be the dangerous, most risky move we've made with this heli yet. I'm gonna cut in front of us, if you would.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna walk this in. We're gonna just take it around some obstructions because that's what we do with helis here on Brian Phillips RC. We fly them through super tight spots, and when I say we, I mean the flight controller. Okay, so just going out here where if it would to start going up, we're not gonna lose the helicopter. By the way, you can stop it from going home if you want, okay? If you wanna stop from going home, be prepared. Okay, camera crew, this is a sweet vantage point. Get over here. Oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous. Yes, that is so dang cool. I'm doing this intentionally slow and awesome, guys. You see it first on Brian Phillips RC because we're the only ones that have this crazy pond. Oh yeah. Right over the rocks. Here it is. Yes, we took it off. Camera crew, you're right in the opening. Go by tree. Thank you. So what I think I want to do is I want to bring it into the jungles and see if we can put it down, let the troops out, pick up the dead, okay? You ready?
Okay.
Here we go. We're gonna bring it in. We're gonna bring up. We're gonna let the dead out right here, okay? There we are. Okay, get out, dead. All right, they're out. We're good. So now what I want to do is I really want to fly through here, but I'm just afraid we're about ready to lose our juice, and I'm just having visions of this thing shooting up into the trees.
Yeah.
So we got to get it out of the woods quick, or somebody could lose their life. So sweet, guys. Next to the world's largest evergreen right here. It's almost as big as 3 helicopters. So guys, there you have it. It is the Huey from FlyWing. The thing does everything you want it to do, and even more. If you know how to fly a helicopter, which I don't, or barely do, then you can do all that stuff too. And look at that, the pilot's watching us.
Yes.
Uh-oh, he's waving us off. Leave us alone. We are annoyed. By the way, that was a wave off. It didn't look very good, but still, it's okay, I'll take it. Now, for those of you that don't have an awesome forest to fly through, you can make your own forest, and that's the coolest part of this. Let's go into the shade here. Oh, that looks so good. You can hide from your enemies if you go into the shade like this. Lots of turbulent air coming down this hill, and the thing is handling it like a champ, guys. Look at this, right over the hill, launching rockets at the enemy. Okay, so guys, if you're anything like me, I've already closed the deal. You've already ordered this thing from the links in the video description below. But if not, I just gotta say, what are you waiting for? This thing is absolutely awesome, fantastic, so much fun. And yes, it is fast if you want it to be. Yes, it is 3D if you're into that sort of thing, but I don't want any of that nonsense on my Huey, okay? I just want beautiful, I want helis, I want them to look real, I want them to be flyable, I want them to not crash immediately, I want them to throw lots of air and make it look like I'm watching the beginning of Predator. And I've got all of those things with this beautiful helicopter, guys. Look at this grass just blowing to and fro. Kind of surprised how much air it doesn't move.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. Woo!
Well, and I think the thing, I know I've said it a couple of times, but this is the V4. So
meaning there's 3 others.
There's 3 previous ones. So if you've seen previous things,
you'll understand. There's some things that got fixed.
There's a reason there's a 4.
Yeah, they wouldn't have done 4 if they didn't need to,
3
folks.
was
Let's
great.
just put it that way. So there you go. There you have it, guys. Just kind of waiting for this thing to freak out and return to home.
Like this flight seems
It seems a lot longer. Although it might just be because of what we're doing in this flight.
Right.
But what I can definitely tell you guys is that this helicopter leaves me feeling very confident. It leaves me feeling happy that I have it. It leaves me not concerned or scared.
Yep.
It took off, it was rock solid. It kicks the air around like it's nobody's business. Look at that grass, absolutely gorgeous. If I were to land right here, I know we'd be fine, but we'd cut the grass. And I don't necessarily want to cut the grass. This is grass hay. I'm trying to sell it to somebody someday. Altitude is a lot easier to control up than it is down. Down is kind of like you're waiting for things to happen. So just be aware of that when you do fly. If you're trying to hit a hole in an opening, let's say, like by a cherry tree or something, like over here, if I wanted to fly through that hole, which I might do that. You can stay where you are.
Okay.
Just for a cool factor, I might fly through. I just don't want it to take off and go return home right under the tree.
Right.
So as you can see, the thing is just very, very beautiful, okay? Flying up and around trees and just moving around the trees, it looks so dang realistic. It looks so dang realistic and so dang good. And I've got every bit of confidence in it. It's gonna do exactly what I want. Camera crew, you wanna come up here for a different vantage? Pretty sweet vantage point, actually. And for those of you that are used to flying full hobby grade style helis, and you're not used to doing something like this, don't you worry. I'm gonna go to fly in a circle mode. Remember, the circle is set by the flight controller, and I'm not sure exactly how to tell where you're starting on the circle.
Oh.
Whether you're starting here and going around or you're starting here and going that way. You'll have to just kind of check that when you turn it on, okay?
And it keeps
going.
in a
It
circle.
goes into an orientation. Now the figure 8, it's gonna keep the tail orientated the correct way so that it's a coordinated looking flight. But as you guys can see, whatever it does a good job of looking the part, okay? Now, I was a little bit annoyed that I had to mount all that stuff, those plastic pieces, but truth be told, the plastic pieces are kind of cool, and I'm really glad I did it. I just wish I had a knife on the bottom too, because there would be a knife on the bottom in real life. Kind of want to go up a little bit just to get a little altitude. Guys, it's like almost surreal how easy it is to fly this. And I know some of you guys are gonna think, yeah, but that's like half the fun is that it's hard. You know, that's a novelty that you can only experience if you're a really good pilot. And there's less people that are good pilots than you might realize. And so for that reason, I am very glad that there are products like this out there, because it's gonna open up doors to people that wanna fly helis, and that's why we push the issue with these. I know some of you heli aficionados are gonna think, Brian, you have the skills, just fly. Yeah, you know what? I might have the skills to fly, but I don't have the time to fix when I make a mistake, okay? Like flying next to those trees, I can handle the risk of that. You guys see how close I am to those trees? You could open the door and jump out, okay? That's something you can't do with an airplane, guys. I mean, you can be a good pilot, you can get lucky, or you can just fly a helicopter, okay? So as you can see, I'm using the shadow to dictate exactly how far I get from that mass of trees and branches and leaves. And it looks so stinky real. How you doing on filming that far away?
I'm good. It just really blends into the trees.
I know, because the olive drab. Now
Yeah.
they do sell this in 2 liveries too.
They do.
And I want to point that out right now. If you want a white one, it's going to look more like a modern Huey that's outfit for maybe like a film crew or possibly some sort of like a medical transit, which is super cool. Camera crew, back 2 steps to your left, 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 left. Thank you. Perfect. Good job. I want to fly through this opening again. Now I gotta say, one thing I'm not crazy about is that vibration. I feel like that vibration doesn't really add anything to the helicopter, other than the fact that my understanding is Hueys are pretty rough riding helicopters. And so it could just be part of the nature of the way that the rotor is designed. And if that's the case, then I stand corrected. But I'm pretty sure that's not it. Camera crew, you want to take a few steps back. I'll go in front of you. So another hole here. Now you guys are going to know this from watching Brian Phillips RC a lot, and that is I'm confident about certain things. Certain things I'm confident about and other things I'm not. When you're this close to a helicopter, that is a lot of spinning, inertia, and mass, and it is right here, right next to us. We're probably 12 feet away from it, so we're not like super dangerously close right now, but as I pass through that, you guys see that? So beautiful. And so I am just waiting. I cannot believe this thing hasn't gone home yet.
This flight time has been significantly longer.
I don't know, did we like not get the other one charged all the way? It said 4.2 volts.
I thought it was, yeah.
What if we have a saggy cell on that one? Okay, so we're just gonna do that same circuit, guys. A few steps back. I'm gonna take the other hole. If she'll let me. Okay, so here we are. And we're just gonna fly out and up. Then we're gonna go out over here, and then camera crew about 3 steps to your right. There you go, good job. You'll be able to see it there. I'm just coming through my landing zone. That's where we would normally bring it in a final. Pretty sweet, guys. Gotta love it. Okay, so real quick, I don't know if this thing is like not gonna go to home, but I'm gotta say, this thing is flying forever.
Yeah.
And it's kind of making me nervous, like, is it gonna eventually die?
Is it just gonna like be dead?
The other thing is the collective on a normal heli will kind of warn you when you start getting low, because you usually have to kind of creep the collective up a little bit as the battery gets tame. But this thing is just not running out. I don't know what the heck to do other than enjoy it and say, how awesome is this? I'm gonna cut in front of you, do not go on the concrete. So now the other thing is, if you want, you can land it, or you can take off. And I gotta say, the only thing I don't like about this heli right now is the fact that I had to install those plastic things and that vibration, which I'm not 100% sure exactly what to do about. I guess I could try to balance the prop. I mean the rotor. Okay, camera crew.
Yep.
Let's go up here. Let's get a vantage down in the ditch. We should be safe going up and over here, right?
Yeah, here we should be.
So cool. Right in the weeds, guys. This is where we used to film all of our cars and stuff. And that was back when...
Somebody took care of it?
Well, listen. I'm just gonna tell you this right now. I had some poison ivy and stuff going on, and I decided, no thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go inside this bush. A little bit up, a little bit up. Guys, I just cannot believe the flight time is amazing. I'm just waiting for the battery to just like crap out on me, but it hasn't happened yet. I don't think it's gonna. Sneak up. Save your bodies. Save your bodies, your buddy's body. It's a medic helicopter, as you can see. Okay, home you go. Bye. Okay, so while it's going up, we're gonna just kind of walk to the home position. And there it goes. It's making its change in Victor. And then it's gonna turn around. And it's gonna lower down. So we can just take our sweet time, make sure we have a nice smooth shot. Guys, if you haven't ever experienced a FlyWing or a Huey flying in your front yard, get ready to live, because this thing will do it all. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm absolutely doing nothing. I'm just watching. Now let's say you change your mind and you're like, abort, abort, abort. Nothing happens here. But if you break out here, it's just gonna pull it back to its home position, okay? So if you wanna switch out of this, all you have to do is go GPS and then you'll be in control. So let's do that. GPS, now I'm in control, as you can see. So we're gonna break out and just do a little more flying. Now you can also relearn your home position wherever you want. You guys saw where it landed. I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. Since we did it in the same spot, camera crew is gonna go to my right. Perfect, sorry. Okay, so we're going over to the other side of the driveway. We're gonna make it just far enough that it barely matters, but you can distinctly tell. Okay, now I'm gonna stop here. Now that I'm stopped, sticks in neutral position, this may not restart. I'm gonna go home, back to GPS. I believe all you have to do is just rearm with the stop and then go to run. It's gonna take off for us. I'm gonna take off, I'll fly just a little bit of ways. As soon as it spools up, we're gonna go ahead and give it forward, or not forward, but up on the collective. Okay, wait for the vibration to kind of end. There we go. Okay, up in the air you go. Okay, now I'm gonna fly over here. I'm just gonna go over kind of in the bowl, and then I'm gonna switch back to home, guys. Okay, so we're over in the bowl, just in a regular hover, nothing special, and then home we go. So it's gonna take it up. It goes up to a pretty good altitude. Now pay attention to how high it goes, okay? That's about how high. You might wanna go to the other side so you can catch it without the sun.
I can't get there that fast.
Just go, you're fine. As you can see, go further, further, further. It's coming down. It's almost like it's gone to the same spot. Kind of hard to tell. Call me crazy, but it sounds like that pitch is changing. Looks like it's going to the first stop point, isn't it?
Maybe we didn't reset the home position that time.
Maybe we did get it learned. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let it land again. But I just wanted to show you, you'll have to be careful about your home position, because your home position changes. You wanna get it where it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna take over and fly it. Okay, now I'm gonna go to stop. Now that I'm in stop, there must be something we're doing wrong. So if I go back to home, and I arm, home, normal, and stop, okay?
Then,
oh, except I'm in the wrong spot. So I gotta go to run.
Yep.
I gotta go back to GPS. It may not start. Nope, it's not gonna start because I didn't ever arm it. So back to stop, arm it. Once it's armed, it'll spin up, unless we're out of battery.
Oh, now we might have
We
to
probably are out of battery. So run, down and out. Yep, I bet you anything the thing is stop, down and out. Yeah,
probably
it's got to be
spent
dead.
now.
Okay, guys, that was an incredibly long flight time. Okay, I don't know why the second battery did so much better than the first battery, but I'll take it. So, all things considered, is the helicopter worth getting? I think it is. If you're a Huey nut, okay, I'm in stop, full disclosure, I'm in normal, I'm in GPS, which is fine. I'm also in normal here. So I should be safe to pick up. So I'm just gonna lay this down. Just remember, it's a heli drone, so you have to treat it like it could chop you in half at any moment, okay? This helicopter is awesome, okay? The Huey is an all-time favorite of mine, and I'm sure it probably is of yours. So I hope when you consider buying one, you'll get it from the links in the video description below. This is from FlyWing. Fantastic rendition of the Huey. A little bit of work to put it together. As you can see, we've got some blades of grass and different junk on there, fibrous materials. We can't resist cutting grass with our weed whackers. You know, we oftentimes we joke about, you know, if you want to help support Brian Phillips, buy airplanes, helis, quads, VTOLs, leaf blowers, weed whackers.
Yeah, see?
Weed whacker.
Just tell your wife you need a new weed whacker.
That's right, exactly. We got a new angle.
Comes in a big, it's a tall box.
It does come in a tall box. So that being said, couple of complaints. A, I wanted this to be prettier. B, I don't like having to add these. I like that they're flexible. That's really cool. You can't tell in air that it's soft, but you can definitely tell when it gets whacked by something because it'll probably survive. Now also, I don't like that they don't match the color, but it's not the end of the world. If you're gonna send parts that don't match, at least send them in black or some color that would be consistent with this model. I don't think it's a big deal. I'm probably gonna leave them that way because I feel like it's good enough, especially up here. But like this one here, these handles here, it'd be nice to see them at least matching the skid. So if you have a white skid set, maybe white, and if you have a black, maybe black. Just a thought. Otherwise, absolutely amazing. And I know you guys are gonna love it, so I hope you'll seriously consider getting one. Other ways to support Brian Phillips RC if you don't want this helicopter would be to look on brianphillipsrc.com or go to bprc.me. That's our short domain that takes you to brianphillipsrc.com. If you can't remember how to spell it or you put a Y in there on accident, it's all I's, okay? That being said, you can go there and you can compare and contrast helicopters next to each other side by side and make your final decision. This is an expensive helicopter as it should be. It's got lots of features. It's very well equipped and it's also big. Given that it's scale and it works well, that's the trifecta, okay? If you want a good working, nice flying, absolutely gorgeous scale helicopter, don't expect it to be cheap. It won't be unless you want small. And if you want small, we have lots of small helicopters. I can tell you this right now. We just quite literally did another one today. It was gorgeous and beautiful, and you will love it too. So please, guys, if you have a tight budget, don't think you can't start flying. Just start flying something different, okay? If you got a huge budget and you don't like Hueys, don't start here, obviously, just because we suggested it. Start where you want to be for your reasons. The Bell 206 is another amazing choice. They also have a squirrel at the same website. You can follow our links to the website if you don't see the link for the exact heli that you'd like to get, but we can definitely speak to the company we're working with now is not the company that the other guys are working with, which is good because they tend not to screw people over quite as much. All right, that being said, the Huey, amazing. You will love it. Get one. This is V4. Not to be confused with before when they self-destructed and committed hara-kiri on takeoff.
Yeah.
Seriously, okay? I can only speak from experience that you will love this helicopter and you want one. So check it out. Links in the video description below. If you have additional questions, we'll do the Unbox Build radio setup next. This thing is gonna check all the boxes. Believe you me, you need it in your hangar. Now, if you want to support us and you just absolutely hate this heli, or you're one of those heli aficionados that insists on having a full hobby grade experience, first things first, you can take out the flight controller, you can set it up however you want, and this will fly every bit as good as every other heli you've ever experienced in your life, but you will have to make sure that you command and control your ESC correctly because it has a combo ESC for the main rotor and the tail rotor because that is obviously a brushless motor. And then secondly, if you don't like this, you want to support us other ways, we have Patreon for monthly support, YouTube members for monthly support, YouTube super thanks for one time, and PayPal for one time. Just remember, we're friends and family, because we are, obviously. So that being said, guys, you need this. It's awesome. I know you're gonna love it. If you've been waiting for them to fix it, wait no longer. It's fixed. Get one. Stay tuned. Unbox next. Thanks for watching. Brown pellets. We got a box right here. We're gonna open it. It's gonna be amazing. I already know what this is. I'm super excited. Can't wait to bring it before your very eyes. You've already seen it fly. This is the unbox build radio setup portion of it. And I'm hoping there's not much of any of that stuff.
Of any of those things, yeah.
Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, guys, V4. What the heck is with this packaging?
It's a box in a box.
It's, look at that. It's a Huey. Or is it a 206? I don't know. Nobody knows. Except you already saw it flying stuff.
Right.
So future Brian says, that was awesome. Let's hurry and get this unboxed. I already know it's gonna be awesome. I just know.
I hope so.
Ooh, it's foam. What could it possibly be?
Still don't know.
What could it possibly be? Look, foam. Very nice. Okay, so we'll put this aside. So it's obviously a FlyWing product. It has some skids. What the heck is going on here? You can get it in 2 liveries now? That's amazing. Okay, this is the one we got. You guys see that? V4, V4. What is all that crap?
What is that? You have to build something?
I don't know. Oh, it's extra tidbits, okay?
Oh.
All right, so what else is inside this box? We got some blades. Oh, yeah. Remember, these blades have an up and a down and a wrong and a right, and we're gonna make sure we get it right. The other thing we're gonna do on this heli, this is a heli drone, okay? So heli drones, meaning that, and this is a totally, I coined that terminology myself. What the heck? That's weird. That is a totally new design.
Yes, it is.
Totally new design, which is good because a lot of the original designs were kind of blown up and stuff. See, that's carbon fiber, baby. Oh yeah, and they do have an up and a down, and then they're gray, and they have the FlyWing logo. So pretty sweet. I love the shape, really cool. Okay, so then we're just gonna keep going. Oh, we have this transmitter, okay, very nice. Hey, thank you, FlyWing, for doing things like this. Stop, run, normal, circle fly, 8 fly, normal, home, GPS 3D, normal, invert.
Hey, I know all those things mean.
I don't even need a freaking manual because it's so good, and I bet the manual sucks.
Probably.
Okay, all right, so this is double power buttons in case you're wondering. There is a lanyard attachment point, and then I think this is where you could like attach a gimbal or I don't know, like a GoPro mount or whatever. And then look, we've got battery spots. Oh, that'd be for people that do FPV, I bet. For those of you who do FPV, you could mount your FPV-age stuff there. Center stick, that's how you can also, ooh, look, spin it, tight, like a tiger. Okay, very good. Gimbals feel nice. A little bit light on the spring, but that's okay. Personal preference issue there. Amazing. FlyWing strap. Never know when you need a strap on. Power cord, AC to AC. Very nice. The other half of the adapter right here. Okay, we've seen this FlyWing, UH1. They pretty much all have the same style. Okay, so I'm gonna plug this in. AC style. Ooh, that was kind of weird. And then plug it in. It looks like this one is designed for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 4S. So we plug that in, it's gonna come up with probably a whole lot of nothing. Okay, and then right quick before we get any further, we're gonna get batteries started. Guys, batteries are the most boring part of my videos. Almost went in my drink. As you can see, we got a battery here. And another battery here, and I'm just showing you the way this unpacks as an unbox build radio setup, so we're gonna show you how it unboxes for a reason, okay? We want you to see the whole story, okay? Because this is a balance lead, okay? What do we have? 3,000 milliamp hour 4S, okay? You'll notice it's super similar to the ones for the Bell 206. 3,000 milliamp hour, very good, okay? So, same XT60 end, which is really nice. And you'll notice it's also got the Velcro applied to annoy me, personally. They had a meeting in China, they're like, ha ha, Americans so dumb, put on Velcro. Just like that, okay?
Okay.
That's the way the meeting went. I actually listened in on it. Okay, there you go, there you go. Just had to move that other helicopter. Starting the charger, if you want to use a smart charger, you can charge a dumb battery on a smart charger. This is obviously not a smart battery. If it was a smart battery, it'd have a battery management system of sorts. In our case, we usually use Spectrum batteries. Nothing wrong with using a Spectrum battery for this. 3,000 milliamp 4S is going to tend to be longer than this in a 3,000. Do I have a 3,000? I don't think we have a 3,000. It's kind of an awkward size. We have 3,200. This is a 6S. So you can see it's quite a bit bigger. And then if you get into a smart battery, the other advantage would be that you'd have automatic balancing, which would be nice. But we're not going to do that because this is a video about what comes out of the box, and we're going to try to keep it that way for now. So I have a little adapter here. You may have a different adapter, doesn't really matter. XT60 into an IC3 or an EC3. In this case, that's an EC3. Into the adapter, plug in your balance lead. Make sure you're all the way over with your negative. Positive is indicated by the red wire. You can see 3.8 volts, the way it's shipped. Click. Scroll this down to, what was this, 3,000? So we'll just do it at 1C, and we'll scroll down to start. Now, for those of you that don't know battery safety issues, there's two things in this hobby we want to watch out for. Well, technically three, because it's a heli, you got to watch out for things that can fly off and hit you in the face, so be careful about that. Secondly, watch for props, don't get cut. Don't arm your helicopter in a dangerous way. There's 3 stalls for batteries here. And that reminds me for the second big thing, and that's battery safety. LiPos are probably the most dangerous thing in this whole operation. The chemistry is well tested, but there are people that have burned their house down. Don't be one of them, okay? The best thing you could do to not burn your house down is when these things start getting puffy and start turning round like a baseball, they're pretty much done, okay? They're toast. Get a new battery, okay? The second thing you can do is be careful when you're plugging in, support your connections. Don't fly with connectors that are broken. If they get really hot and they melt the solder, they'll come apart, they can start a fire, okay? Just be prepared for it. If it starts a fire out in the middle of your flight field, it's probably not gonna hurt anybody. If it starts a fire in the middle of a pile of LiPos, it might hurt you. Okay, we have multiple egresses in this room, 1, 2, 3. They get us out of this room, technically 4, 5, technically 6, 7. They get us away from that dangerous spot, okay? Do the best you can, be safe. It's not that big a deal, keep an eye on them. You're probably not gonna have any issues. USB-A to USB-C, pretty long. They also gave us a flat cable here. So USB-C, right? USB-A, right? Okay, so that comes with it. Then also in this particular pocket, they have a tool for us. They have a bind plug. We shouldn't need the bind plug because this one's ready to fly. It's got that key. I'm not sure what that key does, but we've seen that before. And then it comes with a nice little tool set, okay? We have a million of these because we do a lot of e-bikes on this channel. One of our best performing videos is an e-bike video. Just kidding, sorry.
It is.
Is it?
We have one that's like...
We have one. Oh yeah, the hay bike.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the hay bike makes a mean bike.
It does.
Okay, so a little bit of packaging. Give that to the kids. They can play with it while you play with the real helicopter. Good parent award time. Oh man, that looks really good. Oh yes, I can't believe how good it looks. Okay, come out here and play. I want to see you out here. Oh, I love that it's got black skids. It's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, get out of here. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the tail rotor. It even says danger, keep away.
There you go. What more do you need?
That is so good. Okay, first thing I noticed, different design than their earlier versions. You guys see this? Okay, I think it's empty. I'm gonna lay this down.
Should be.
That looks totally sweet. Red horizontal stabilizer. Yep, it is empty. There's nothing on the bottom, just to show you. Yes, this is repackable, but you'll have to disassemble stuff. So just keep in mind, if you are gonna repack, you're not gonna be able to pack it back in built, okay? Yeah. So let's start talking about things I noticed right away. Red, awesome, good visibility. Yellow, awesome, good visibility. Ugly tail design, same as the 206, efficiency, be darned. I want it to look prettier. And it is a brushless motor, which is nice. So there's not a lot of stuff going here except for a wire to run it and an ESC, which is integral up front, okay? Where is up front? This releases, boom. This comes off. Ooh, that feels nice. They have carbon fiber in there. Look, carbon fiber, carbon fiber. See, carbon fiber embedded. Look how strong that is, guys. That's awesome. It's so much better than I thought it was gonna be. And then everything in here, as you can see, multi-purpose ESC that's gonna run the tail rotor and the main rotor. Main, tail, okay? And then the flight controller. Check your cables. You see that cable, how it's loose? Screw that, plug it in, okay? I don't know any of the stuff that's going on, but there is a light there. That light is gonna give you indication of status. This is your S-Bus connection from the receiver, which I believe is actually FR Sky. I'm not sure, but I don't really care because I'm just gonna push this cable and make sure it's pushed in all the way. Then we're gonna make sure that this main gear set is not hitting anything, and it's not, okay? Then I'm gonna look at this and I'm gonna make sure they're connected, and they are, and they're connected, and they are. See the ball joints, ball links, strong, sturdy supports, better stay there. And then back here, you've got that guide for the collective movement up and down. Okay, so obviously the collective moves all three of those servos, just kind of the same way that a swash would work on a real helicopter. And then you'll notice that as this spins around, that is so weird. They have this little buckle here. I don't even know what that does. It looks like it's 3D printed. I wonder if that's just a looks thing.
No, because it's going to go in this little hole.
No, I'm saying I wonder if it's a looks thing.
Oh.
But then this thing sits up on top, which is part of the apparatus that would be on a real one. Oh, yes, maybe, possibly. What is that stuff? Yes, cutters.
Oh.
So cool, but I don't know. They're not painted though. That's kind of lame. Hold on, how does this work? I gotta see if there's instructions that show where all this crap goes. A little disappointed that stuff's not installed. This is supposed to be a ready to fly, but I mean, it's still a pretty small amount. Look at that, that's so sweet. Look at the profile on that. Gorgeous and really stiff, but like just nothing weight. So cool. Okay, so let's get this crap out of the way. Let's go right here and open this bag of goodies. I just don't know where all of it goes. I know that the horizontal goes on top. Ooh. Let's see what all this stuff is. Looks like maybe some hand grips. This is 3D printed,
Yeah.
but it's rubbery.
Oh, that's weird.
Whoa. That way, if like you have an accident,
It'll
boing,
just...
that is so bizarro that is made with this filament that's that rubbery filament stuff. Same thing with all this crap. Wow, that is so weird. What the heck is it though?
Are they doing that as an after?
It looks like somebody was like, hey, good idea, let's include them. That's a windshield wiper maybe? I don't know. Yeah, that's probably a wiper. Is that? I don't know, I can't tell. This is definitely a cutter, which we were talking about on the Bell 206, how it needed it. That would, I think that goes up here, if I remember right. But I don't know. I mean, maybe they show it. Do we just CA them on there? And then this thing, wow, wiggle. Sir wiggles a lot.
That is bizarre.
That is really bizarre. And then look at this. This receives the screw. This for sure goes right here. We know that, okay? So it's gonna go like that. There's gonna be a screw that drops down through there. So we'll have to assemble that here in a minute. But just to give you an idea, this is a 60 amp FlyWing ESC. It receives an XT60. So it's got a short lead, not very big wires, by the way, I must say. But we'll see if it gives us a problem. And then look down the boom. First of all, that opaque paint makes it really seem robust. But for being fiberglass, look at the stiffness, guys. Look at this. See how hard I'm grabbing it with my fingers are red? When I let go, they go back to normal human color. I'm grabbing hard and trying to twist this. This thing is like solid. Do you feel that?
I can see it.
That is nuts how strong it is. I'm actually really excited about that. And yes, that is a functional outlet there, okay? So there is actually ventilation, so it can come in and go back out. Only thing is, this doesn't have a lot of ventilation on the front, so I'm hoping it'll suck air in through. Yes, it will. Awesome. Through the windows. So sweet, guys. quality control. This V4 is a lot better than what we've seen in the past. Really excited to see it. Now let's see if the instruction manual talks about where all this crap screws on, because I'm thinking a lot of it's gonna have to get glued on.
Glued?
Oh, there are two. I bet those are wiper blades. By the way, they've got this white finish as well. And I would assume that's like a helicopter that they would use to film like events and stuff. So it's kind of cool, but like I'm definitely gonna go for the olive drab myself. Okay, so
no paper airplanes?
No paper airplanes, yep. And guys, I gotta say, this manual is like 6 pages long. Look,
yeah,
it's like nothing. Okay, so you have to insert the GPS, really? Do we? You have to make sure that that's inserted, folks, right there, that thing. If that's not inserted, you'd be in trouble, okay? It is inserted, okay? Oh, look. Now you can tell that it's wrong because there's not a thing hooked up. You see that?
Okay.
So you have to do that right. So you would just do this right now? Let's just do it as we go through the manual. It says assemble the helicopter. Now, I can say this. FlyWing historically has had reasonably good manuals given the fact that it is a Chinese company that's selling a helicopter.
Right.
Typically, they're terrible, okay? Even the best helicopters have terrible manuals. And to be honest, like, I even think the American manuals sometimes leave a little something to be desired.
Helicopters are just so much
There's
of
just a lot
different
of technical
world.
jargon that I don't understand because I'm, you know, not a heli guy.
Yeah.
That's why I have like 400 of them.
Right.
Okay, so this is like actually super high quality. So I'm trying to get whatever fits into that. Looks like the small one does fit. Okay. Okay, so now that I've proven that that will work, I'm gonna go ahead and get a proper tool that I can hold in my hand. Folks, in case you were wondering, how did you get this amazing high quality screwdriver holder? I ordered this on Amazon.
You keep your garbage like this. Keep your
garbage and make an awesome holder. You're trying to say, trying to make fun of my holder. I was just saying how awesome it was. But all joking aside, guys. Oh, look, this is what happens when you have property that has hay on it.
Baling our hay right now.
Yes, our neighbor, this is one of our neighbors here. Let's show the people at home real quick, in case you're wondering. This is what it looks like to have hay baled. So, that's alfalfa that's going into round bales, okay?
Yep.
So, he does that with a giant machine. I do mine with a very small machine.
Yes.
And so when we make bales, they're 75 pounds and round. And when he makes bales, they're like 2,200 pounds.
Yeah, there's one way up there. You won't be able to see the one that he just dumped.
And our hope is that he won't suck the trees into the baler.
Yeah.
But he's pretty good at that. And, oh, it just ejected.
Yep.
So it just let one. Can you scooch over and you'll be able to see it? So that's pretty sweet. So maybe when we're flying, here in a few minutes, you guys will see the bales. Oh, look, and they're raking. He's tedding.
Yep. He's
here,
raking,
show him.
Raking
so cool.
and baling at the same time.
Yep, so they say, make hay when the sun shines. They aren't kidding, guys. Yes. I know from personal experience, and I am so glad not to be running that tractor right now.
Yes.
So we're gonna continue. All right, guys, so sorry we got distracted by the hay, but it happens. We got some goodies. And while we were distracted by hay, we were like, hey, let's look up this thing. We knew where that goes. That's pretty dang obvious. It goes right there, okay? So we can mount that right now. So first thing I did was I grabbed my heat gun flamethrower. And then I went down the length of it to take the little fibrous imperfections like this. Right there. Or there. And then just rub it. See, like that little thing? Rub it. Don't go crazy with your heat. You'll screw it up for sure. So mine also has an imperfection here. And so that's, you know, it kind of is what it is. I don't really care. It's still gonna look cool having this on here. And the thing is, like, that would normally be black per Google. Thanks, Google. Yep, that's right. I looked up a Huey. This is a stock image from Google. Thanks, Google. So this also helped me to locate where everything was gonna be. There's a pitot tube or something up here, and then there's a cutter. There's a cutter on the bottom too, so it's like, I don't know which one's more critical. We'll probably put it up here. And then this thing we don't have, but we do have this. This is like a tail boom support. And so this thing came with a lot of fibers on it too, and so I tried this before I showed you. So you just run it through the flame a little bit. It'll knock a lot of that off. and then just smooth it out, okay? So this is wiggly too. So it's not gonna be a problem. It's not gonna interfere with flight performance that I can tell. So I know for sure I want this. I know for sure I want this thing. That thing I also use the heat to take off, like little nubbins, like that little nubbin there. Gone? That little nubbin there. Lick the fingers, cool it off if it's hot. It's not hot, okay? So I'm gonna use CA. This is what we use, just regular, like Bob Smith Industries glue. I know for sure I want this. So that's where it's gonna go. Somewhere in here. I don't know if it needs to be on top of those bumps or not. But according to Google, what do you have to say about that? I have to say it goes here, okay? So if you just kind of look at the generic design of it, it's not an exact replica. So what I wanna do is when I glue these things, there's two different trains of thought. One, you can glue it after you've painted it, or you can just put it on there and make it look kind of cool. And then later, if it survives, you can maybe paint it. I'm gonna go with the latter. If it survives, you can later paint it. Okay, so as with typical CA performance, I used this last night helping my friend, and it's now broken, so I just have this little T-handled pin, which you get those at like the hobby supply store, like where your wife buys like sewing stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't get them at like the regular hobby shop. You are kind of blocking my light there. If there's a way you can pick a different spot to stand, thank you. Okay, so I got a little bit of residue on there. So if you have residue from CA, there's two trains of thought. Either get it on your fingers or get it on something else. I'm gonna get it on something else. Now this is opened. Yeah, so this should be totally fine to CA because it is not like a foam airplane. And so, gosh, I must have a really nasty clog there. So then my trick is when I'm going onto a glued, when I'm gluing something like this onto a surface like this, I like to kind of put a drip where I know that it's about to hit and a drip where it's about to hit. And then I can just rest it into the bed of that. And it's gonna set like almost instantaneously. Okay. So now that's set like instantaneously, which is really nice. But I don't want to mess with that kicker because that kicker will potentially mute the performance of the bonding agents in that. See, it's not perfect. So you have to make a decision if you like this enough. The other thing too that's kind of nice, I wish they would have provided painted materials, but that still is a pretty nice looking cutter. And I'm tempted to take this cutter and actually put that on my Bell 206 because I like it on the Bell 206, maybe even better. This has the ability to be wrapped around the edge just a little bit if you want, so I'm actually not gonna do that. I'm just gonna put it back until it's flush, okay? So kind of the same scenario here, just getting in there with, see, my tip is clogged again. This is part of the reason why we don't like filming, working with CA. You guys, a lot of times you're like, why don't you use CA instead of China glue? Well, I can tell you why, because I have perpetual issues whenever I use CA, and then it never stays, it always ends up, half of it ends up melted in the bottle, and I'm too stupid to buy the right amount. I always buy the bigger bottle because it's a better value, and then I end up wasting more of it. So like if you get a smaller bottle, then you'll maybe potentially waste less of it. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little strip of that there. I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna take this, and you see I've got a big old drip of the CA, so I'm gonna pour it down so that it levels itself. And I wanna make sure it's even. Stick it in, don't mess around. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and it's done, okay? And so you may notice that I imperfectly put that to the left, or to your, would be your right. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's on purpose because I want to leave a little bit extra room for the pitot tube. And this pitot tube had a lot of imperfections on it and indisparities on it, like this little nodule there, point at it with your fingernail, right there. So I'm going to take this heat and I'm going to keep the heat above it. Lick it, okay? Megan is cringing. It's okay.
We usually tell the kids to not lick things from China, so
it came from China.
They get applied to you.
Okay,
also.
One big drip. Okay, now we'll just come back to Google here for a second. That CA will take a while to set up, but you can see where that's going to be. It's going to be back by, you know, the window or whatever, so about halfway over. Okay. And I'm just gonna do just a little fresh strip of kicker right there. And I'm just gonna drop it down in it. And you guys are probably thinking to yourself, good Lord, that's a lot of effort for a stupid little detail. Yes, it is. And if you don't like that detail, I understand. You know, it's not gonna be for everybody, but I just wanna, you know, more or less showcase what it would look like. The performance, how hard is it to install, that sort of thing. We've got these wiper blades. They're really kind of a bad rendition, and then lots of little whiskers on this. See what I did? Just pass through and it's like it's magically gone. Okay, same thing here. This one I want to kind of get the heat up and above the rest of the object. Lick it, push it down, don't get burned, okay? And then there's a little knob there too. So heat here. Hold the handle, roll it. Okay, you guys see what's going on there? Looks pretty nice now. Little tiny fibrous spot there. Inside heat, hold it, make sure it doesn't deflect too much. Okay, so now these I want on the back. So obviously that stuff is strong, but it's got a little bit of give to it. So, you know, like if it gets whacked by the rotor, it's not gonna hurt your helicopter, it's just gonna knock it off, okay? So the next move we gotta do is back here. You can see this little handle would be best described as back here. It'd be like a tail handle. I don't know if you stand on that to go up and like inspect the rotor, or if you use that to like pull it around when you lock a wheel on here. But then there's also this extendo boom. That's the technical terminology. Oh, before we do that, why don't we look at the wiper blades? Because I'm not 100% sold on the wipers. I think they're maybe not like a real good design. Oh, and whiskers. Let's talk about whiskers. Here we go. Can you see the whiskers? Mm-hmm. You guys see what I did there? Pretty simple stuff. Hold it where it should be. And you're probably thinking, oh, you just ruined your wiper. No, I didn't. I actually made it work. Because watch this. That wiper is supposed to be mounted here, okay? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let that cool until it cools exactly where I want it. You guys see what I did there? It's a little bit too rubbery for my taste. But you see that? I wanna go a little bit more. Oh, it came back. It got erect again. Okay, so you see this? Just let it cool in the position you like. Okay. Pretty good. So I could live with that, couldn't you?
Sure.
Because if you look at the drawings, they just made it kind of the wrong size, okay?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be straight, but it just doesn't really work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this a little bit different than I did the rest of it, okay? You can tell there's like a little bit of an adaptation to it. It's got that angle on it. I'm gonna go just a little bit of CA there, and when I say a little bit, I'm a little more than I wanted. And what I wanna do is I wanna do 3 points. Now this is gonna be on the clear, so it's gonna potentially fog the glass, so I wanna do just a little teeny bit on both ends, and then like maybe one little tiny bit on the middle there, okay? Then, I wanna try to avoid the CA with my fingertips. And this one, I'm just gonna basically put in without kicker. Okay, I'm gonna hold that for about count of 10. And what's gonna happen is, guys, it's gonna hold eventually, okay? Even without kicker. The kicker just makes it like almost instantaneous. Now up here, I can get away with a kiss of the kicker, okay? Pushing it with my left thumb, just one drip, okay? That's gonna run down no matter what I want. It's gonna spread across that shaft, and this is now held tight, and it's good. As imperfect as it may be, I still would rather have the object there. Now, I don't care that that's the wrong color, but it would be better if it was the right color. Now, you see what's going on here? Now I gotta mimic that here. I've already kind of deburred this one to a certain extent. I did that off camera. So I'm gonna heat it in the middle. Oh. Sorry. Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. I know your lack of performance on camera is very awkward. I get it. I get it. Preaching to the choir, buddy. Preaching to the choir. Okay. So you see this? Now I took my thumb and I pushed it up. I know it's off camera because it's behind my thumb and it's a little toasty, a little toastadelic. It's kind of like it was on fire just mere moments ago.
That's how that works.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to just see how that did not turn out the way I want. Watch this. I'm going to get it all excited and watch what happens. Ooh, that was my thumb. I just want to get that bend a little bit better.
Smoother.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too clunky. So I know about where it needs to be, so I'm just holding it whilst it cools. Okay, so that's not terrible. It's just going to more closely mimic what we've got over here. Okay. And I'm going to be pushing this into position here anyway. You guys can see what I'm talking about. Like, this is the sort of thing that, you know, a model builder is going to love doing. It's really not anything too terribly difficult. It's not terribly tedious. I actually don't mind a couple little steps like this. I would rather not do them, to be honest, but some people get really bent out of shape about them, like my wife.
Because I have to film them. I don't really care that you have to do it.
So like I said, my wife gets a little bent out of shape about them. And the truth is, I had to quite literally bend them out of shape.
Yeah, see? It's not just
Which I should be bent out of shape about bending them out of shape. I'm just holding this, not doing anything special. And yes, this is one of those moments where our videos become even longer than they could be.
Because we're literally
watching glue dry.
Yep.
Okay, now I let go. And I let go. And you'll notice that it worked. And it looks good. And it's like, wow, why didn't the factory do that? Good question. And also, by the way, factory, if you're gonna make 3D printed parts in a spot like this, I'd really like to see them be a better color match. Like that should be painted, that should be painted.
Or they should have been
that should be painted.
black.
Or black, yeah. But they did the flexible, which I really appreciate that. That's unusual that we would see that. I had to push this last, excuse me, this last point into the glass. And you'll notice that because of the way I did it, I don't have like tons of fogging on the glass, which is nice, okay? Now, if you wanted to have that a little bit more stable, you could go in here and do a drip of CA, or you could use a thin CA product rather than a medium CA product. This is a gap filling medium. Okay, by the way, if you want to support Brian Phillips RC, there's millions of ways to do it. You can do PayPal for one-time donations, Patreon for monthly support, thanks to our Patrons, monthly support through YouTube members, thanks for being our monthly supporters, and then YouTube super thanks. But the best way is to buy glue like this from the supplies link on brianphillipsrc.com. You can also compare this helicopter to another helicopter that you might be interested in. Okay, commercial over. Sticking that back. Now that we got those on, sorry, I almost forgot about those, folks. We're gonna get the tail boom done. By the way, I looked through the entire manual. There's nothing that indicates where these go. So thanks, Google. I also use Google Translate to translate the handwritten note that's on top of there, and it said the shipping company. I was like, oh, they love us. No, they don't. They're like, ugh, it's that guy again. That guy. Kind of don't blame them. It's
Give you. Yeah.
It's me. So we're gonna screw this in right now too. There's 3 screws, 1, 2, 3. Obviously this one, these ones, there's 2 of them, so they're gonna go into this part, okay? And then the other part is going to go right here. Okay, so I can drop that in there. And it's not seated all the way down. I just wanted to point this out real quick while we're kind of working our way down the length. I think it's a 2mm drive. Now remember, this is superficial. You do not have to do this. There's 2 key points that hold this down. Now also the other thing is this is black in our Google imagery. But then this would also be black. If it were black anodized steel, you would get that, but this is aluminum. Steel would be considerably heavier. You could also paint this all, but I think it's gonna give the feel and look that we're going for. Also, I don't wanna do serious modifications because I don't have olive drab paint. I have some, but it's probably dry in the bottle. Okay, so while we're on the way to the back, you can see that this needs to go in there, so we're gonna have to undo a singular screw, pull this back. So we have to loosen this. Oh, that's 2.5 millimeters. So it's probably 2.5 and 1.5. Yep, 1.5 millimeters. We're gonna back this off just a hair. Cannot believe they machined this in there. Good Lord. They actually machined that in the aluminum. Like they were really serious about that little doohickey. Careful, please. Okay, so I'm gonna undo this. There is what appears to be a nut down here. Okay, well, that fell exactly into my hand. Okay, so the upward way is the only way it's gonna go and get to both sides. Okay, so you can slide that in. Then this goes here. Now I'm just gonna warn you about something. This is kind of a cool detail, but then you can't fold your blades on this worth a darn. That's kind of lame-o.
Oh, that's true.
I don't quite understand that. They must have had a problem with these blades not being in the correct position and blowing up in a million pieces or something.
That would be a bummer.
This is a V4, folks. V4 as in not V2, as in not V3, as in not V1. So let's hope they've worked out whatever bugs that were critical enough to work out. I can tell you this, FlyWing, we've had very good luck with our helicopters from FlyWing. This is probably the first one that we were reluctant to dig into for good reasons, because we watched a number of them blow up and we may have had some experience with it ourselves. But we're not gonna go there because this is a V4. And that means if you follow the link in the video description below, then you might have a better luck than other people had on V1 or V2 or whatever that was blowing up like left and right for all the influencers. So let's just say it this way, guys. Sometimes, oh boy, look at that. I wonder if I'm doing this, I need to have that seated pushed up tight first. When we have a product that blows up in our face, there are times when we're just not gonna tell you to get it. You may have noticed. And there's other times that we're gonna show it and we're gonna say, hey, maybe avoid this one. But if it's totally unredeemable, there's a good chance you're not gonna see it on Brian Phillips RC. If it's redeemable to a certain sect of people that have enough time to fix this, that, or the other thing, or might not be having a big problem with things catching on fire and blowing up, then we'll show it. But if we can't find any redeemable qualities, there is a good chance we're just gonna omit that from our expectations that you might be interested, okay? AKA protecting our audience from bad choices. You can make bad choices all you want, it's just we don't want you to act on our recommendations to make bad choices. So when and if you see us avoid a product, there might be a good reason for it. You'll notice we're not avoiding this product. Wink, wink. So get it, it's probably awesome. Or it sucks, which means we wasted our time doing this video, because we're probably not even gonna show it. Some people make an entire business model of trashing companies that like to make products for our hobby. We're not that channel. We love the hobby too much to punish people for having purchased an item from China and then having it not work out as good as we would have liked. Okay, guys? There are much easier ways to run business and make money than selling little dangerous things that fly that we love, okay?
Yeah.
Little dangerous, now regulated things that we love to fly. And we want to encourage companies that have opportunities to make huge, giant, hundreds of thousands of dollars invested every time they order a different weird product that could kill you and bring it to the United States to be sold in a regulated, litigious society. Okay, guys? I don't know if you're reading the lines on the fastball, but I want you to know that the balls exist and you should avoid them unless you're into that sort of thing. Okay? We're gonna let you know when we think things are dangerous by not reviewing them. And we're gonna let you know when things are awesome by reviewing them. And we're gonna let you know when we think they're somewhere in the middle. But if we don't touch them, or if we don't share our experience with them, it's probably because we don't want to badmouth people that took a chance on a product that didn't work out. But we also don't want to be associated with things that suck so bad that you might hit yourself in the face and get hurt. We hope that makes sense. That is absolutely fantastic. Even the indisparity doesn't bother me that much, because once it starts to spin, and I think it's going to stretch out. I'm kind of nervous it's going to break off, but whatever. We'll find out. Also, what the heck is this thing?
I don't know.
Does that hold this thing? No. This might be, I noticed that there was a couple of different like adapters here. And I know this is definitely something. I just don't know what it is. It kind of ticks me off because I want to know what it is. And I just don't know what it is. I couldn't tell on this image what this might correspond to. I think this is a lock that's designed to go into the tail boom, or not tail boom, but the, when you're replacing this, they said like, put this lock in or some stupid thing like that. I don't think it's gonna work with the darn, so I'm not gonna really waste a lot more time on it. Ooh, this might be, no, that doesn't work because they've got this beacon back here. Do you see anything else I might be missing, camera crew?
Not that's that.
I wonder if it goes on the tail and we just had two of them. We were supposed to get two of them, maybe? I don't know. Because they've got that thing there.
But there would be one on both sides.
That's right, so I don't think that's it. Well, if we think of what this is, we'll install it later and you guys might see it in the video. We don't mean to lead you guys astray or leave you out of anything exciting. But the truth is, like, I don't know where it goes.
If we aren't sure, we also don't want to just put it some random
Yeah, I don't want
place.
to just like make it look ugly. Now, I know where these ones go. These ones are pretty obviously going to go back here. And there's kind of like an up and a down. There's like a flat and an up. I'm assuming that we're going to go ahead and try to mimic this closely. So that'd be something about like right there. Okay, and this one just has a lot of like indisparity on it. Oh, there, that took care of it. Nice. See? Didn't even have to lick that one, hun.
Oh, well, that's great.
Ah, yes, very nice. Okay, very nice. Okay, we use it now. All right, here. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and glue this just like we did on the front. Same exact scenario, pretty easy stuff. One big glob of CA. That one's got like a nice little thingy it can go into. Okay, now, kind of like I did up front, I'm gonna touch this where I think it's gonna go, which is probably just about here and about, in fact, I'm gonna do this a little bit different since it's a vertical surface. I'll just spread it real quick. Whoops. And just hold that in there tight. You don't wanna hold too tight because this thing is wiggly, so you'll bend it and it'll look stupid if it's bent, okay? Okay, so that's on there, and that looks pretty good. I was trying to kind of target about where that keep danger, keep away thing.
For just to line it up.
Yeah, just for an alignment guide.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really any like point that's really super obvious where that's gonna go. Thanks, Google, for the image. Hopefully you don't like give me a copyright violation for that because it said, I think it said like open.
We didn't claim it as our own. That's not our picture of.
I did not take a
Huey.
picture of that Huey, but you know what?
did
The
not.
Huey landed right there down the street, and it was loud.
You should have asked them where all their little parts and pieces went.
Hey, check this out. I'm going to use this now, my finger and my thumb, to locate this.
Okay.
Okay, just like that. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, now I'm going to just take and I'm going to get the glue spread on here, slathered. You guys see how it's bouncing? That's kind of annoying. And the camera crew, she tries her very best not to be distracting to me, but it's hard not to be distracted by somebody that's blocking your light. That was a hilarious joke. You thought I was going somewhere else.
Your light.
You thought it was all flattery, huh?
Oh no, I know.
You know. You know! Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely amazing. So now you guys are probably thinking, why did you put that fugly thing on there that doesn't even match the paint? Relax. I could make it match the paint if it survives long enough to do that, okay? Now, same thing up here. Absolutely fantastic looking. Hope it doesn't cause a problem, those little accessory
Decorative
things.
parts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's decorative parts on the rotor, which is kind of different. Also, this is really robust here. So I'm very pleased that that's robust because I think a lot of people were having trouble with that sort of a section of this helicopter previously. Now, the other thing, and I'm just gonna say this, Bell 206, same thing from FlyWing. This tail rotor is fugly. I want a better looking tail rotor. For this price point, it is an absolutely gorgeous model. When this spins, well, just look. It should be more blocky and more plain, like hobby grade. I understand we're not going to have all the moving parts, but you can make this look the part.
Oh, you don't want to see the big chunky...
This is an efficiency move because the motor can only produce so much thrust. So
Gotcha.
they need to keep it efficient. I understand. And this is cheaper than if they were to go with a blocky, detailed tail rotor. But I'm going to tell you this. Detailed tail rotors on detailed, very well-known helicopters would probably be worthwhile. Now, also, I'm just going to say full disclosure. This thing will fly upside down. It will do 3D. It will do it all. And I'm not going to probably do much of it at all. You know why? Because I don't care. I just want it to look like a freaking Huey. And I've never seen a Huey hovering upside down in my living room. And I don't care to see it. I don't care if it does it. If you guys do, I don't mean to take anything away from you, but I'm just going to tell you this right now. That is not my game. That is not my aim, rather. It goes off of the end. Yes, absolutely. Most definitely. And I've got that correct with the upward tilt. So I'm going to try to get that as centered as possible. Now this, again, you're not going to be able to put this back in the box once this is mounted, which might explain why they didn't do it, / they don't want to pay the labor to their staff to install it. And I got to say something, guys. China, listen. People that are buying a near ready to fly helicopter sort of have a reasonable expectation, especially at this price point, that you're going to have this done. China, please take my advice. Do it at the factory. Your people's hands are very good at making assemblies look good. There are going to be like about 3% of the populace that are in the RC populace that disagree with me. Because they want to do it themselves. If you want to do it yourself, you don't just break it off, do it again. See this?
Okay.
It's pretty close. I got it good. It's not perfect, but it's good enough.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be the first thing to break off. But you know what? It's wiggly. Now this one I am going to go a little extra gluey on. Okay. And also I'm just going to point out the fact if I did a knife cutter here or a cutter here, it'd be kind of cool, but it would be like the first thing to break off. I just wish I know where this stuff went, guys. I feel bad because like I genuinely don't know where it goes.
Someone will tell us in the comments and then we can add it.
And also I got to say, I'm not like thrilled about how this looks. I think I must have got like a little bit too much of a angle on it or something. I'm going to see if I can take the bend out. Yeah, kind of did, sort of. Yeah, see, it's got a bend. It kind of goes, like that. That sound effect clearly articulates.
Demonstrates what you're talking about, definitely.
Okay. So I'm torn. Do I do a little bit of CA along there?
I don't.
Okay, I'm not gonna, because it's gonna, I'm gonna leave.
Leave well enough alone.
I'm gonna leave good well enough where it belongs.
Impossible.
If it could be murdered, I will murder it.
Yes. I don't think.
You're welcome, Google, for all of the false flags. There's no extra charge for that. Look at that, beautiful. I am gonna put a little extra glue on this now that I wipe my tip.
More?
Yeah.
Did you already do more?
No, I never did the more. I just got excited talking about it. Please don't move, hold still. You guys see what I did there?
No.
Over the top of the surface. Now you can do a close-up. Okay, now watch this. I'm gonna put this on here, let it run back. There it goes. You guys see that? Mm-hmm. Beautiful, huh?
Amazing.
So it's set as it rolls around the edge. When it mixes with the kicker, it always like thins. Okay? So then that makes that nice little contour and it looks good. Can't even smell it. Don't smell your glue, kids. Adults, you do whatever you need to do.
Unless you've had a brain injury and you can't smell it anyway. It's still chemicals.
I can smell some stuff. Just none of the fun stuff.
Barely.
Okay, guys, so BSI Instaset, BSI medium CA, okay? Not foam safe. Foam safe would be black lidded. Thin foam safe would be white. Thin of this would be blue. Thick of this would be pink. Okay, works really good. Okay, so now the next step in this process is to probably see how the battery fits. So let's just talk about this for a minute. I'm hoping we come up with a solution for where the heck this thing is supposed to go. Because I genuinely have no clue. And then this thing, I don't know what that is, guys. If you know what it is, leave it in the comments below. I'll figure a way to glue it on there at some point. Okay. This is clearly designed to hold the battery in. If it fits, I'll be happy. You think it's gonna fit?
It doesn't look like it.
Anything else you want to guess?
What you asked.
I'm just saying. Is there any other guesses you want to make? Are these lotto numbers right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, stop me when I get there. That was pretty good. It's not very often the camera crew is wrong, so I always like to play it up as much as possible.
You don't know I'm wrong yet.
What are you talking about? It's through. I can see it. Right there, see?
Yeah, but is it gonna go around the battery and actually hook to itself? The battery
that is not what I was talking about.
Oh, well, you did not specify your question.
Oh, okay.
I would have had a different answer.
I'll be a little bit more specific next time.
And yet it fit in the hole, obviously.
Well, I mean...
You gotta get it out the other side, though.
That part I can usually get.
Right.
Although the 3D printed parts definitely couldn't. They seemed very uninvigorated by the CA.
They were not impressed.
They're like, no, thank you. Look at this. Okay, so.
You're trying to make this harder for me.
Yes.
I'm moving your
hard as
glue.
possible. I thought that was kind of the objective. Okay, I've clipped. Look at this, guys. Look at this. So what do we call that?
No, I said, is it gonna go around the battery and clip to itself?
Look at this.
It might.
Beautiful.
Does the 206 have a little strappy?
Does the 206 have a strap on?
Yeah. I don't think it did it?
What?
Didn't it just sit in there on the Velcro?
Well, I mean, you could. By the way, let's talk about the batteries. Batteries are charged. Okay, we're at 4.998999992. It's balancing, so I unplugged it. Okay, you don't need to show it. This is going to say full when it's full. It's at 78%, so I've lost faith in your ability to not suck. So I've unplugged you. I'm going to plug you in over here. Okay, balance lead down, so the tabs go down. It's keyed, just like every other Hextronics balance lead. Then I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to hit this. Yeah, see, it's at 3.98, so it went up. But I'm just gonna tell you something. Of all the stuff that you're gonna get in this gear, this is probably not the one that you're gonna write home about. And also, I just wanna point out the fact that behind this, there is also, watch. I'm gonna take one for the team, guys. Watch this. There is not the other one,
thing, though.
okay? I just wanted to point out, so you're kill the curiosity, killed the cat, is that what they say?
Yes.
Okay, so there's not a 3S balance lead on there. Some of the FlyWing products do have both. Okay, this is not one of them. Oh, are we gonna mark this battery so we know which one it belongs to?
Probably.
It actually would work for the Bell 206 or for the Huey. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna call this one the Huey. H
U
E
Y.
Y. V4. Don't make fun of my lack of spelling. V4.
You could have just not passed that on to our children, though.
Oh, you mean the good looks, or you talk about something else? Okay, V4. V4 Huey. H-U-E-Y.
Yes, you got it.
Listen, just because I know how to phonetically smell.
Actually, you can't do that either.
I can't phonetically smell. All right, guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, there's many ways to support us. One would be with spelling manuals, also known as dictionaries. The second way would be with mathematical charts. So we can't seem to do that on camera.
We can't do that either.
Thank God I'm not on the Apollo 13. It would have, what's the one that the one they had to like build like
13.
toilet paper holders out of
Right.
duct tape so they could like, put the air through it and breathe
Right.
it.
No, that was Apollo 13.
They did math and stuff.
But they weren't on camera. That was just like a life or death.
They were on live TV, I thought.
Not live TV.
It was live.
Not while they were doing
math.
math.
I was not there.
You were not even close. We're not that old.
You're supposed to have to hit both. I don't understand why they say that.
There's no batteries in there.
It doesn't work. Oh, there it is. Okay, so real quick, you can also buy rechargeable batteries if you don't want to use the crappiest ones in the history of time.
What's the fun in that?
We're gonna go do that right now. We'll be right back. All right, so one of the hardest parts of the build is double A's, flat, flat to spring, flat to spring, and flat to spring. Oh man, we made it. Thank God. Okay. So then you're supposed to press both of these. Okay, amazing. Wow. So you can unlock it. It's a touch screen. Okay, I'm not gonna unlock it. Now the other thing too is this is gonna give us telemetry. This is a 10-channel transmitter. It's got lots of features. There's sliders here. I don't think they do anything here and here, as you can see. Spring-loaded sliders. And then back here, there's a button and a button. I also don't think it does anything, but it will wake up the screen, which is kind of nice. Spring-loaded. They feel pretty smooth. These are actually nice, like hobby grade style transmitters. They're just maybe not the one I would pick. There's a USB port here, and then there's a PS2 connector actually, which is kind of ironic. That's for a trainer port, but you would have to refer to FR Sky to figure out what all the details are about this transmitter. There is a protective cover. I'm just gonna leave mine on there because it doesn't hurt anything. Okay, press and hold. It eventually unlocks, then you can go into the menu. Okay. Reverse, endpoint, sub-trims. Oh, you just slide it that way. Throttle curve. You can make changes if you want. I'm not gonna mess with any of this crap. Okay. System, RX bind. Whoops. Hope I didn't just screw that up, guys. There's student mode, trainer mode, throttle mode, Braille sounds. Wow, weird. Okay, so there you have it. We are obviously not going to turn this on inside because this is a big helicopter. I'm trying to turn this off with one button and it's not turning off. I'm going to press both buttons and then it's going to allow us to turn it off. FR Sky. So I told you earlier FR Sky, but it's S-Bus communication between the receiver here and the actual flight controller. The flight controller has a physically floating, like there's like small armatures that help it float, and that gives us some really good stabilization, okay? This is a pretty good flight controller. Not saying it's the best, I'm saying it's been pretty good. We've had good luck with it. Now also the battery, let's talk about loading the battery because that's the last thing we're gonna have to do. Obviously on our maiden voyage, we're gonna go outside, we're gonna be watching this green LED is what we want, green solid, okay? Camera crew is gonna show you right now exactly the conditions of those lights. Now this is just for your reference. You can of course always click the link in the video description below. You can download the entire manual yourself.
Yep.
And full disclosure, there is an entire process in order to enable this flight controller. It says USB right there. You plug into that USB port there. It says USB right there, okay? You plug it in, and that goes to your computer. You have to download software. The software is outlined in the manual, okay? I'm just gonna show you this real quick. It shows you the process you have to go through at the end here. It shows right here on some of this stuff, okay? I'm not gonna do that, okay? I'm not gonna fly this upside down. I have this as a scale heli for a reason. That doesn't mean that I can't flip into 3D mode and, you know, roll the helicopter over and then fly upside down, providing thrust this way, roll it back over and then provide it. But there is quite literally an invert mode where you can flip to the invert mode, and then I think you have to do a stick condition. It will then flip upside down and fly like a normal helicopter, which is really weird. And it does it all on its own. So it is all flight controller driven. You just fly it like you would fly your helicopter. If it goes to low voltage detection or it goes to low voltage, it will flip back over and it will return to home and land, okay? Remember, this is what we call heli drones. That's my name, not the manufacturer's. I call them heli drones. A couple of things to keep in mind. This is very clearly going to be not sub 250. So if you want to be above board, you need to have a remote ID module. We don't hardly ever use our remote ID module because of reasons that I don't get into here, but you can fly into a FRIA legally without the remote ID module, Or you can buy a remote ID module and you can be above board. Where do we lay that thing, camera crew?
Not even sure.
Sorry, wrong bag. Okay, so this remote ID module is the Sky module from Spectrum. You can use one of a million different Sky type products, remote ID modules. This thing can literally be plugged into this battery and laid in here, and it doesn't even have to interact with this device at all. It's just there, okay, on the premises, okay? Yep. That thing's super light. It's like 10, 12 grams, something like that. You could also power it from one of the accessory ports. You just plug it in and you just don't use the signal port. And yes, all these adapters come with it, so you can plug that in if you want to be above board. So like if you want to fly in your backyard and you're not inside of an airspace that's controlled to where you're going to get yourself in trouble still, which make sure you do your due diligence. If you guys are going to alert the authorities to your presence, you better make sure you're following the stupid rules. Said that wrong. But if you're flying free, you don't have to worry about that. And so anyway, without bemoaning the issue, because we really don't care what you do, just don't piss off your neighbors. Don't piss off the general public that doesn't understand that these things aren't filming their kids changing clothes, okay? This is a helicopter. It's not like a film station, okay? Remember, people's stereotypes matter even though they might be wrong, okay? This is a voltage alarm. You don't need a voltage alarm, but if you want, you can plug it in, which is kind of nice because you have a balance lead here, okay? Then that's going to tell you when it's low. On a helicopter like this, I think that they set to 3.6 or 3.7 volts for their low voltage return to home setting. That should give you plenty of time to get back to home, depending on how far you fly. But you can change that also on the computer-based software where it's going to do the return to home. And that is, of course, stored in your flight controller. Okay. Now, if you guys really want to see how to do it, we have done it one time. And I think we did it on the FW 450, the FlyWing 450. It might have been the 250. But either way, we hooked it up to the computer, we set it up, and then that was allowed to flip over upside down, and it was no problem. Okay, loading the battery. Pretty easy stuff. Undo the strap. You can put the strap over here too. I'm not sure which spot I want to put it, but I'm assuming that I want to put this probably somewhere about here. Now, what's kind of cool about a helicopter is check this out. We don't talk about CG much in helicopters, but it is still a factor, and you should still be considering this, okay? So I'm gonna lay that down inside of there. I'm gonna grab by my crappy fake holder thing. I'm gonna slide this in, drop it into the two holes in the back as best I can. Okay, it is kind of awkward to get those lined up. Once they're lined up, get in here, drop that down, make sure it snaps back. This one snaps pretty good. Okay, note that this and this don't have much clearance. That might be why this is allowed to wiggle in case it gets waxed someday, okay? All right, so now how do you check CG? There. Feels good to me. If that thing tipped really far forward, then your CG would be ineffective, okay? It's not as critical as it is on an airplane because of the way that you pivot an airplane in the air compared to a helicopter, but a helicopter still needs to have the center of gravity worked out. All right, hopefully we've answered all your questions about this helicopter. Obviously, we're gonna turn it on, we're gonna plug it in, we're gonna do that outside for our maiden run because we wanna make sure that we're totally safe. We have a roof over us. A roof sort of screws up the heli drone status of finding GPS signals. This is a GPS 10 module. It's supposed to be updated. It's supposed to be like 80% better than before. I don't know what that means. So it's a little faster. Thanks, Google, for the help. You've always got all the answers, obviously. Right. Okay, so very gorgeous helicopter. A couple things to note about this body that I'm not crazy about. A, I don't like mounting those. B, they're not perfect, but they're okay. C, I didn't like the wipers. D, this thing's nice. I'd like it to be a fixture of the helicopter that's like embedded and strong because I want to protect the tail from hitting. You note that this isn't going to hit very easy. But I still like that this is wiggly. That's pretty awesome. I don't like that we had to install this. I don't like that even though it is scale. I'm nervous it's going to cause other real problems that really matter. But if I'm wrong in my assessment that it's a problem, is not a real problem, then I'm okay with it. By the way, that is real on a Huey. And yes, it is in the picture. I love the high visibility tips here. Love it, love it, love it. I love that it is a medical evacuation helicopter. I would love it even better if there was a machine gun sticking out the side. If you're gonna 3D print parts, why are you not 3D printing a machine gun? Also, on a model of this caliber, I'd like to see a door that slides open. Okay?
That'd be cool.
It's not a problem, not gonna break the bank to cut in a door, but it will weaken the canopy, and this canopy comes off. So I understand why they didn't do it, because you see where the door would be. Pretty hard to do that right there, so I kind of given them a pass on that to a certain extent. Cut the canopy different, make it a little smaller maybe. It's gonna be harder to load the battery, but you get that scale detail squeezed in there. Landing gear, black, love it. Looks super scale, love it, love it, love it. Love the shape, love the lines. Not crazy about the exposed brushless motor, but it's gonna cool better that way. Not crazy about the tail rotor. Okay, those are my opinions. They are opinions. That doesn't mean that the scale look isn't good enough. It is absolutely beautiful. And when it's flying, it's gonna be second to none, other than maybe the Bell 206, because I love the Bell 206. One of my favorites. This is probably a little bit more scale detail than what we get on the Bell 206, but a lot of it we had to add, and it's sort of imperfect in its nature. So I'm gonna go with, it's very good, but I would like to see 2 cutters at minimum, and I would like to see cutters of the 206. And I would like to see them made of fiberglass and painted white, and 2 screws that you put in from the bottom to hold it in. That's my expectation at a price point like this. I also would have liked to see it just installed from the factory and built by your guys. Now, talking about the lights, we were talking about the conditions. Camera crew had just briefly shown that. When you first start up, one of the best things about this heli is that there is a window, and you can sort of point your head, but look where my head is. You're looking right here in where the prop is gonna be.
Yeah.
So on this one, it's tough because you have to get kind of creative to get yourself to be able to see that.
Especially in the bright sun, or depending on the angle of the
So
sun.
depending on where the sun is, we've got some good clouds today. It's pretty windy, but we're still gonna fly it. That's one of the best things about helicopters that you don't necessarily have with planes. If you're flying a plane, especially for maiden, in high wind, it can really be kind of a tough thing to do, okay? So helicopters don't seem to care. As long as you have enough movement on the cyclic so you can pull forward into the wind and penetrate the wind as fast as it's blowing, it will do okay. Secondly, FlyWing has one of the best flight controllers we've seen in terms of GPS heli drones. It's also one of the more expensive ones we've seen. This, of course, is bigger than some of the different Yuzhang, Yixin,
RC era.
No, those don't have.
Those aren't heli drones, yeah.
But heli drone offerings that we have reviewed in the past, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. Truthfully, if they're heli drones, they're gonna fly good themselves. But you're not necessarily gonna get the flight performance you want if you're trying to do crazy 3D. That's one of the reasons we really like FlyWing, because you can shut it off.
Right.
There are models that you can't shut off that are heli drones. Okay, make sure that if you want to do 3D stuff, you can shut it off. You can shut this off. You can also use the flight controller to do the inverted flying, okay? So just keep that in mind if it's a serious consideration for you. For me, it's never been. If I'm buying a scale heli, I want it to fly like a helicopter, and I want it to be easy enough for me to fly, and I don't want to have a heart attack when I fly it. So this is going to check all those boxes. Also, do I mind having to glue the things on there? Not really, not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. I just wish they were the right color if I'm gonna have to put them on. And I do like that they're squishy and bendy. Okay, biggest complaint on this model right now is I feel like there's a miss, and you can get so much scale, detail, and fidelity from having a tail that's painted, that's squared off, that looks right. And I think it'd be easy for them to do that. So in the future, FlyWing V5,
there you go.
We wanna see it. All right, that's all we got for you today. Hopefully we answered all the questions that you had about this FlyWing Huey V4. And hopefully, since we didn't review the other ones, you'll maybe connect the dots on why we didn't, because we enjoy being able to see and feel and not be hit in the face or crashed into by a helicopter that's maybe not designed quite right. But we also are in a position where we want to destroy distributors that happen to pick an item that isn't crazy, that isn't good, that isn't the best. Okay, we want them to do better, but we don't want to destroy them either because of a choice that they made. That's not what we do here. We're part of a community of RC people that love this stuff enough to put their financial well-being on the line. And remember, when these companies bring on a new product, That's exactly what they're doing, okay? So don't destroy them. If there's something that sucks, it is what it is. You know, move on to the next one, help them make some money. Because at the end of the day, the people that are giving us what we want are the ones that are taking the risk, and then we're going out buying them, okay? So they win if we win. We all win together, okay? All right, that's all we got to say about that. Hopefully you can read between the lines to the obvious conclusion that I'm trying to make. But we do love this hobby, and we love helicopters too, or at least I love this hobby and love these helicopters. Camera crew tolerates all the stuff I love. And so someday I hope to have a real one, and it's gonna be super cool because we're building a helipad right there outside our house at the end of the runway. And there's gonna be another dam runway right there, and there's gonna be a connecting road that looks a lot like a runway. And then over there, there's gonna be a big building that's gonna be a hangar, AKA a place to put our agricultural equipment. And then up there, there's gonna be a hill. And that hill is gonna be a runway for full-scale aircraft. So it's gonna be awkward landing if they're taking the hay off of the property.
Hay bales.
Which, incidentally, if you go over here and look, you can see they have a tractor and it's getting ready to load the hay.
Yep.
So pretty cool stuff, guys. So if you're ever lucky enough to have a piece of property that has hay, alfalfa, row crop, etc., and you wanna put a full-scale runway on it, then you can watch Brian Phillips RC, and we'll share as much as we can share that makes sense publicly. And if you have questions about it and you want to know more, I'll talk your ear off. So hit me up, email us or whatever, and we'll talk about it in more detail. If you want to help support us in a special way, if you are specially equipped, AKA you fly an ultralight, you fly, you know, like a STOL plane, something like that, you fly a helicopter. I'm still trying to find a discovery flight here locally in central Iowa, somebody that's willing to take me up for a flight and maybe help me understand the ins and outs a little bit better as we get closer and closer to actually making humongous financial investment over here. Maybe there's something we could do different that'd be smart. We're always listening, okay? If you're not talking, we're not listening. And if you're not talking, we're not learning from what you can share and help us avoid, or maybe do right or better. So we are asking and appealing to our huge audience of awesome people. If you think you've got something you can share, hit us up. And don't be embarrassed to do it. It's not like we're gonna put you on camera and like record the phone call or something, okay? We'll talk to you about it. And we do really want help, so hit us up. Anyway, so the Huey FlyWing, absolutely gorgeous, imperfect, wonderful, beautiful model. You can have one for your very own. Just check out the links in the video description below. You can buy it. You know exactly what it's gonna take to get it in the air based on watching this video. And hopefully it was as amazing as we thought it was gonna be. So thanks for watching, guys. As usual, the ways to support us, Patreon, PayPal, for different support methods. You can also go to YouTube, Super Thanks and YouTube members. But the best way is buying the helicopters, quads, VTOLs, leaf blowers, and weed whackers, and tractors that you see on Brian Phillips RC. And we're gonna bring you a little bit more gear right around the corner. So stay tuned, and thanks so much for watching. Come back for more.